I was just like,
James Conner in the backfield on the right side of Big Ben. Motion by the tight end McDonald down the line left to right. And the snap goes high over the head of Big Ben all the way back to the 2 to the 1. And the Browns have it in the end zone. And they dive on the ball and recover it for a touchdown. Carl Joseph's got it in the end zone. A touchdown.
Not a bad start.
6-0 Browns. Marquise Pouncey just sailed the ball over the head of Big Ben, who looked at James Conner. They raced back towards inside the 5-yard line. It went into the end zone. B.J. Goodson and Carl Joseph were over there, and Joseph recovers it. Calling signals, takes the snap, gives it, Chubb runs, dips his shoulders, he's to the 40, 35, he's to the 30, cut back 25, he's to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Nick Chubb, he's over 1,000, and the Browns lead 6-0. James Conner in the backfield on the right side of Big Ben. Motion by the tight end McDonald down the line left to right. And the snap goes high over the head of Big Ben all the way back to the 2 to the 1. And the Browns have it in the end zone. And they dive on the ball and recover it for a touchdown. Carl Joseph's got it in the end zone. A touchdown.
Not a bad start.
6-0 Browns. Marquise Pouncey just sailed the ball over the head of Big Ben, who looked at James Conner. They raced back towards inside the 5-yard line. It went into the end zone. B.J. Goodson and Carl Joseph were over there, and Joseph recovers it. Calling signals, takes the snap, gives it, Chubb runs, dips his shoulders, he's to the 40, 35, he's to the 30, cut back 25, he's to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Nick Chubb, he's over 1,000, and the Browns lead 6-0. James Conner in the backfield on the right side of Big Ben. Motion by the tight end, McDonald down the line, left to right. And the snap goes high over the head of Big Ben, all the way back to the 2, to the 1, and the Browns have it in the end zone. And they dive on the ball and recover it for a touchdown. Carl Joseph's got it in the end zone. A touchdown.
Not a bad start.
6-0 Browns. Marquise Pouncey just sailed the ball over the head of Big Ben, who looked at James Conner. They raced back towards inside the 5-yard line. It went into the end zone. B.J. Goodson and Carl Joseph were over there, and Joseph recovers it.
All right, welcome in, guys. This is Load the Box Browns. I appreciate everybody joining us. Good to be back. Took the bye week off last week. Was out of town for work. I had gotten home. I just wanted to soak in some family time. So thank you, Mienko, for letting me do that. I really appreciate that. You're amazing. But before we get into how your week was, I just want to say something real quick, and that is a happy 31st birthday to our man Eric Mienko. Yesterday was his birthday. The man is 31 years old.
I'll have to keep mentioning the number. I know I'm getting old.
31. He is that much closer to the big 40.
Hey, listen, okay, slow down just a little bit, okay? Let's just take it back a few steps. We're not even close to 40 yet.
No, but I'm just saying, you're
I'm
that
closer
much
to 40 than I am 18, but
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
I know it doesn't.
No, that doesn't sound good, because that's me too.
I'm not 40.
Yeah, but you're that much closer. But regardless, happy birthday. I hope your birthday was great. With that being said, how was your week, Mienko? Tell me all about it.
It was good. Hung out with my dad, got some stuff done at his house. We plan to do my little family get together this weekend. Got to hang out with the kids. I took Monday off because I have like 40 hours of PTO I have to take for the end of the year.
Wow.
So that's always good. Well, when you don't take time off the rest of the year, you end up getting it all at the end of the year.
It doesn't roll over?
No.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. If it rolled over, I wouldn't be taking time off as it is. I'd just roll it over.
Yeah.
Because, last year we had, my wife had a lot of health issues and we had a lot of stuff come up. So I had planned to keep a lot of that banked in case something happened.
Yeah.
And then I was worried about my health. So I was like, well, if something needs to happen, I need to have time off. Well, then we move it a month later, and then we were going to do a vacation, and then that got moved. And so it's, you get to start getting later and later, and it's like, well, when am I going to take time off? So, but either way, I took Monday off, got, a nice little extra day off. Yeah. And then Angie yesterday, my wife, lovely wife, decided to make chicken parmesan. I've been asking for it for about 3 weeks, and
man,
she did a very, very good job.
That sounds good right now.
Yeah, and she hand breaded the chicken too, so that was the big piece.
And
it wasn't just some breaded chicken, Tyson cutlets from the store or whatever.
And I can also attest, his wife is a fantastic cook. She's made.
Well, there's a reason why I'm as fat as I am.
I've eaten plenty of meals cooked by her, and it's good stuff every time.
She was mad at me, so obviously you have at least a hint of this, but my wife makes homemade sauce, as my mom does. And, she took my mom's recipe and she, tweaks it a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same. And I didn't think she'd have enough time because most times when she makes it, she takes the whole day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't started when I went up for lunch. So I knew whatever it was, it had to be rushed. And I was like, did you just spice this up? Is this Prego or whatever? And you just add it to it? And she goes, I'm offended. I said, what? How am I supposed to not know? How am I supposed to know? You had less than 3 hours to get it prepared. I didn't think it'd be done in time. It tastes amazing. I thought you somehow spiced it up. She was very upset with me, but
wow,
it was very, very good.
Won't make that mistake again.
No, I won't. I won't comment anymore. Just it was good or it was bad.
Yep. Well, no, it's always good. It's always good. You can't say that it's bad. Actually, I can say if something's bad. I'll tell my wife if she cooks something bad. Luckily, she doesn't really do that very often. Luckily, she's a pretty good cook for the most part. Can't fry a damn thing to save her life. Nothing in a frying pan. She can fry an egg. That's about it.
Yeah.
But so that's the only thing she can't do. She can bake, she can do everything else, but
Well,
And
and next time you talk to Angie, ask her about the bourbon chicken incident from many years ago.
well, Angie is actually in our chat right now, and she said thank you to me. And you know what, Angie, thank you for being such a fabulous cook. And I would love to
Great.
know about this bourbon chicken incident. You've piqued my curiosity.
So I'll tell you real fast.
Yeah.
So an ex-friend of mine, Zach, came over to my dad's house, and she's making bourbon chicken, and she was supposed to put, was it 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, and she put 4 tablespoons of cayenne pepper.
Ooh.
And when I tell you it lit us up, I mean, it was one bite, and you're like, yeah, I literally can't eat this anymore.
Wow.
It was rough.
Okay.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
And we still laugh about it to this day, but it
Hey,
was the hottest bourbon chicken I've ever had.
we've all been there.
Oh yeah.
So let's go ahead. I'm gonna talk real quick about my week. Nothing
Yeah.
nothing crazy. You know, took child out trick-or-treating. Had a fantastic Monday evening because our Browns were victorious over the Bengals. Then I had to go to work all the way like 4 hours away from me in Kentucky. I had to get there by like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I left my house at 3 a.m. Didn't sleep from Monday into Tuesday, just couldn't do it. Then I had to go through like an 8-hour training class and then an hour to take a test afterwards. It was absolutely ridiculous. Did all that, got to my hotel room, passed out, came back next morning, and that's when I was like, you know, I just want to soak up some family time. Went through all that, and then over the weekend, Saturday, we went to Sam's Club, and I made the grave mistake of buying a Chromebook there because I'm doing some DJ stuff on the side, trying to be a DJ. And I like Chromebooks for that. That works well for what I want to do. And I guess my biggest mistake was buying all that from Sam's Club and then trying to get gas because my bank thought it was fraud. And they shut down my debit card. Couldn't get gas at a cheap Sam's Club. You know, the gas is always cheaper there. So couldn't get gas there. My debit card was shut down till about 9 a.m. on Monday. So that was kind of fun.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but it's back. And look, I mean, my wife's got debit cards, so it's not a big deal. Just use hers and be done with it. That was a little frustrating, but
For sure.
it is what it is. Been working a lot this week, but we are back at it. Now, we are not going to touch on this very long because we got a lot to talk about today. But yes, our Brownies did win, and they won. And they won. I said this to you before we went on. This was the first complete game that we saw from this Browns team. I can honestly say that. What about you?
I mean, this is just 2 words. Ass whooping is what this was. I mean, that's really what it was.
Yeah,
I mean, there was no other way to describe this game. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, from top to bottom, it started with Myles Garrett. It ended with, you know, the team just pounding the ball down their throat.
Yep.
They could not stop us. And then they lost to Wousier, and then you decide to leave Amari Cooper with a a 4th-string corner, one-on-one. Are you stupid? And then the fact that they kept leaving Myles Garrett one-on-one with Jonah Williams, I mean, he literally had a clinic all night long.
Yep.
I mean, Myles Garrett had a game. You had Jadeveon Clowney had some pressures. You know, Taven Bryan almost had a really good sack. You had, why is his name escaping me? The guy we drafted from Oklahoma. I can see his face. He's like number 56. The D end. What is his name? It's not Michael Woods. That's the wide receiver. It's the other guy.
Michael Brantley?
No, he's not on the team.
I know. I keep forgetting.
I can't remember his name. It's gonna bug the crap out of me now. I'm pissed off. I can't remember it. But either way, he had a sack.
Dakota Allen is 56.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. There you go. He's 58.
Yep. So he had a sack. That was nice to see. MJ Emerson had a game. You know, the whole defense had a real. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Myles Garrett talked about it before the week. He said this team had to empty the tank. If they don't have anything left in the tank this week, and that's the only performance we get, that is what that defense is supposed to look like.
Yep. 100%.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
And the offense was just perfect. There's really nothing to say about it.
The offense.
Except for that stupid pass by Amari Cooper. You shouldn't run that play.
No. That was like you've talked about Kevin Stefanski out coaching himself.
Getting too cute.
Yep. That we're just gonna forget about that one. Luckily, it didn't matter in the end because our
Right.
Brownies won 32-13. It was a great.
And it wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't. It was farther apart than what that scoreboard says.
Absolutely.
So
was.
we walked out of Monday Night Football with the win. Joe Burrow still have yet to beat us. So I will take that. Kevin Stefanski is yet to lose against the Bengals. We'll take that. So we're going to move on. So what we want to do is before we get into Miami is I think, as this was your idea, but it is time to look forward.
Yeah.
It is time to look forward to the rest of the season.
Yep.
Because we still got a lot of football left. And if you guys have forgotten, after the next 3 games, we got another guy coming back at quarterback. One, Deshaun Watson is going to be off of his 11-game suspension, and he's going to be ready to play some football. We've got a lot to look forward to. Now, as we look at the schedule, as I've got it on my other monitor here, especially after last week, after seeing what the Jets did to the Bills, every single one of these games is winnable. Every single one of them.
It all depends on which Josh Allen shows up. That injury could be very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't look good. His elbow dropped immediately in late in that fourth quarter after he got injured. It literally dropped. I thought his arm was broke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the whole season depends on these next 3 games. You have to win 2. You have to.
Yep.
Now, obviously, the big one is this week. This sets the tone for the rest of the year.
Yep.
If they come out and they get walloped, which they very well could with this offense, then its season's over. I'm sorry. The Ravens obviously just got Roquan Smith. They have, a 2-game lead on us now. If they win again, they'll have a 3-game lead. And they have the tiebreaker against us. Like, it's not a good situation to be in.
Yep.
But if we can win this game, you get the tiebreaker over the Dolphins, who may not win their division. If it comes down to a tie, that puts us in a very good position.
Yep. And I think it matters as to what Dolphins team is going to show up on Sunday, because we've seen their offense with Tua be lights out electric. Then other times it just kind of falters a little bit. So I think it all depends on what Dolphins team shows up. Obviously, we've got to do everything we can to cover their wide receivers. Their wide receiver core is absolutely elite.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And so that's why this game scares me, but this is a very winnable game. Moving on from the Dolphins, because we're going to get more in depth as later on in the show. You talked a little bit about it, the Bills. If Josh Allen is hurt and he can't play or he's not 100%, while that bodes well for us, we seem to forget that defense is great. That defense
they're good.
I think they're great.
Listen, here's the problem for them though, is Jordan Poyer has been hurt the last 2 weeks. And I don't know if he's back in practice or not.
I remember that name.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be nice to have. It would have been nice to have him here, but point being is that he's been hurt, and they lost their further life. I can't remember their other Pro Bowl safety's name, but they lost him at the beginning of the year for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Tre'Davious White's just now coming back. That defense, they struggled against the run. I don't know if did you watch much of that game?
I really didn't watch a whole lot of football this weekend, man. I just kind of took the weekend off.
I mean, Michael Carter and James Robinson ran all over them. They had their way with them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You think that Chubb and Hunt won't have their way because you think Michael Carter and James Robinson are better? Absolutely not. No way.
Which, can I also say, thank God the Browns did not trade Hunt. He even said that he was really nervous that was going to be his last time suiting up for the Browns. And he reiterated that he wants to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's my home.
Yeah. Obviously, he needs to make money. And if the Browns aren't going to offer him what he wants, he will walk. But we got a guy who wants to be here. And he wants to keep playing with Nick Chubb.
He's always wanted to be here.
Yeah, but it's just, I just want to reiterate that. So.
Yep. And obviously, and AV said that in his press conference. He said that was, there were some moves that didn't get made after that win. It kind of changed their thinking in the season. And I think that's one of the things.
Yep.
Now, at the same time, you think about it. I mean, Jerome Ford and Johnson are not even close to Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
But could they have filled that role? I mean, you saw what Jerome Ford did in the preseason. He could have stepped in and played a bigger role. He obviously got activated off IR this week, which it's a huge boost.
Yep.
So, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But point being is that, this team, if you can win 2 of the next 3, you are set up in such a good position moving forward.
100%. And
you
that
have good.
Oh, no, please continue.
You got Deshaun Watson coming back. You still have 3 division games. Imagine if they sweep those 3. Like that would just be mind-boggling.
It
and
absolutely
you have the
would.
Saints in there. No one knows who or what they are. They don't even know.
Yep.
And you have the Commanders in there, which at that point they may be not even be the Commanders anymore if it gets sold.
Yep. Finally selling that team.
Yeah.
But so you said we got to win 2 out of these 3 games coming up, and we talked about we're gonna get into more in depth about the Dolphins later. We talked a little bit about the Bills. Let's talk about that other game. This is the Browns and the Buccaneers. Now, it's hard to kind of I know I said the same thing about the Dolphins, but I'm going to say it about the Bucs. What Buccaneers team is going to show up that day?
That's a big key.
I thought you were going to keep going.
No,
sorry.
No, I was waiting for you to keep going. Sorry.
No, that's a big key. I was waiting for something more, and then,
we
had awkward silence.
The problem is for them is you don't know what they're going to be.
Exactly.
The other big problem for us is that's after their bye week.
Yep.
We play them the week after their bye week.
Yep.
So that is not good.
No.
And I believe we play the Bills after their bye week, which would be even worse if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully it's not. Hopefully I'm wrong in that. But point being is that the Bucs coming off the bye. Brady played much better last week than he's played in a long time, at least this season. The defense looked better for them last week. Obviously, it's the Rams. The Rams suck this year.
The Bills are not coming off of their bye week.
That's good.
Because they play Minnesota this week.
Yeah, we'll get into that one too.
Yeah.
But point being is that the Dolphins are beatable.
Very.
The Bills, especially without Josh Allen, are beatable. The Bucs, you have no idea, so they're beatable.
Yep.
Then you get Watson back. Then you play one of the worst teams in the league in the Texans. And then your season's on the right path.
But then this is what worries me about that Texans game. Okay. Is there's a couple of things that has me concerned. Number one, you are right in that they're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
They're not good.
No, they're not. But you know good and damn well that team's going to be coming out with some fire because they're playing against a former quarterback. Also,
those guys didn't play with them.
I know that, but still, at least the fans are going to be bringing that energy.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know as well as I do that team can feed off of that energy. It's just very possible that can happen.
But a lot of people thought that the Eagles game could have been a trap game for the Eagles because they're undefeated going into Houston for the Thursday night primetime game, and it was a romping.
But there's also more to this game than it was the Eagles. You got to think this is the first meaningful football that Deshaun Watson has played since 2020.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to look like. Obviously, he's been working out during the season. He's been with quarterback coaches, sorry. And now he's finally in the building. You said he practices next week. Is that correct? Okay. Yep. So he's practicing next week, but still, we don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to be right away. Do I think he's going to be what he was in Houston? Yes, 100%. How long is it going to take him to get to that form, though?
I think if you want my opinion on this is what I think is going to happen. they're going to ride Chubb and Hunt. They're ride Chunt as long as they possibly can in that game.
I still can't. I can't hear that right.
I know. And they're going, they're going to ride the Chunt as long as they can, and they're going to let Deshaun be Deshaun, and let him get his feet wet.
Yep.
And then
that's
kind of
the
get
most
his sea
important
legs
thing.
under him, and then the next game, set him free.
Yep. That's the most important thing, is that Kevin Stefanski needs to call little dink and dunk passes for him, just to let him complete a ball or two and then go from there. Don't go for the deep ball right away.
Right.
Let him, like you said, let him get his sea legs under him, and go from there. Because, I mean, we saw what he looked like against Jacksonville in that preseason game. Now, yes, it was just preseason. Yes, Amari Cooper was not there, as well as DPJ. He was playing with Stonehand Schwartz. I get that.
Yep.
But still, there were some balls in that game that he wanted back.
Of course.
So, and don't be surprised if we do see that a little bit. Don't be surprised in that Houston game if he's overthrowing guys for a little bit, or they're going into the ground. This is his first game.
First live action.
Give him some time. I still do think that the Browns do win that game 100%. But I think Watson will be Watson, like you just said, against the Bengals the following week.
And that's where you need him to be.
Yes, 100%.
At Cincinnati, like that team, depending on what happens with them over the next 3 weeks-ish without Jamar Chase, that could be crucial for this whole season. Plain and simple.
Yep.
I mean, they beat up on the Panthers, and everyone said the Bengals are back, which made me laugh. But we'll see how they look in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, the Bengals aren't back. Bengals are not back. Sorry.
But anyway, so then what's left after that?
So I mean, we can get right back into the Bengals. I mean, we just kind of talked about it a little bit.
Right.
So that one's going to be in Cincinnati. A hostile crowd. Maybe hostile. We don't know how many Cincinnati fans are actually going to be there.
Yeah, well, if they lose it all again, there won't be many. Yeah,
exactly. And then after that, we are at home versus the Ravens.
Big game.
It's a very big game.
That's a huge game. That's monumental.
You have to win that game, just like you said.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to win that game to even have a chance to win this division.
Yep.
Because it's still, the division is wide open. We can still win this thing. But you gotta, if you lose that game, you're done. You're not winning this division. The only thing you can do is hope and pray that you get a wild card spot.
Right.
Which that might not even happen either. You never know, though.
Yeah.
Never say never. That game is going to be astronomically huge. It is at home. It is in the bitter cold, as that game right now is December 18th. Obviously, it's TDB, because you never know. They could flex.
Well, it's going to be Saturday. But it's a matter of if it's going to be earlier in the day, if it's going to be prime time. Well,
they could just flex it and be done with it. Like the Bengals game this week got flexed. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. I laughed at that. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen with that one, but that is an absolute must win. And then the game after that is at home as well, Christmas Eve. And that is Saints coming to Cleveland. Jarvis Landry's return.
If he's even playing.
Yeah, it's a big if. What kind of Saints team are we gonna play?
That's the key.
Who knows? They
no one has any idea.
Like, some games they play great, others they just look like shit. Like, they looked bad against Baltimore. They looked great against Vegas.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I really don't know. The one thing that we got going for us is that it's at home in the cold.
Right.
Hopefully it's a snowy day. Saints aren't used to that. They're not used to being in the cold. So if it's snowing, that's great. Use the chunt.
I agree.
Use the chunt.
Yep. Run the chunt right down their throat.
Exactly. And that is actually the final home game of the year. And we got 2 more games. That's kind of crazy. It doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, and I think that overall, that game and the next game, which is at Washington, are the only 2 of those last ones that you can really afford to lose. You have to win the division games. Have to. If you lose to either the Saints or the Commanders, you're in a much better position than if you lose to any of the division rivalries.
I would even say even the Bucks too. Like you can drop that Bucks game possibly.
Like I said, you have to win 2 of the next 3.
Yeah, well, yeah. But you have to win these interconference games 100%. You got to win those. But yeah, moving on, January 1st is at Washington. I think that's a Browns win. I really do.
Should be.
I like Taylor Heineke. I like what he's doing, but he's not. I don't know. I just think he's a journeyman style quarterback. He's Jacoby Brissett. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to play the rest of the year because Carson Wentz is not good.
He's not good.
No, he's god awful. And that should be a Browns win. And then going into Pittsburgh, last game of the year.
Yep.
Who knows what that game's going to be?
Yeah, I mean no one knows who Pittsburgh's going to be.
I mean, that at that point in time, Pittsburgh's just going to be playing for pride. They're not making the playoffs this year. Kenny Pickett
very easily tank.
Kenny Pickett is exactly who we thought he was. Sorry, I had to quote Dennis Allen there. They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook.
Denny Green.
Thank you. Why did I say Allen?
Dennis Allen was the dude from New Orleans. Head coach.
You were right. Thank you for correcting me. Damn. You're exactly right.
Right.
So anyway,
let's jump into this Dolphins game.
What's that?
Let's jump into this Dolphins game.
All right. So right now, the Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites. So yeah. So my dad is actually going to be at this game. He lives in Florida, but now he lives on the Gulf of Mexico side.
Okay.
So they're at his local Browns backers bar. They have I guess they're taking a giant bus and they're driving over to Miami.
Oh, nice.
This game. Yeah, my dad's excited about that, which
absolutely.
I mean, hell, I would be too. I'd be very excited to go, and he's never been to their stadium before. So this is let's go ahead and look at the injury report. Yeah. Pardon me, because for some reason this is so tiny and I can't see it very well. Okay, that's much better. Got it. So for the Dolphins, this is what we're looking at. Terran Armstead did not practice. Xavier Howard was on vet rest day. Austin Jackson did not participate. Hunter Long is in concussion protocol. He didn't practice. Tanner Connor was limited with a knee, as well as River Craycraft was sick. Yeah. He was limited. He was sick. Raekwon Davis limited with a knee. Durham Smith limited with a hammy. Then Jalen Waddle and Christian Wilkins were both full practice today. Then we go to the Browns. Not as bad as what we had hoped for, but it's getting there. So I'm not even going to talk about the vet days. So
yeah,
we'll just leave that. But Martin Everson didn't practice. He was sick, but I don't see him not playing. Right. David Njoku still is not practicing with the ankle. I think he's.
Did you see what he said today?
What did he say?
He said today that he's still going to try to play Sunday. So he's trying to convince himself he's going to go out there and play. Now, obviously, it's probably best he doesn't. but if he can, I think that's a huge piece of his offense.
Absolutely. Another huge piece that did not practice, JOK, Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa.
Yeah,
Knee
but
is
they
still
expect
bothering.
him to play, is what I saw today.
Good. Well, he did not practice. Perrion Winfrey didn't practice with an illness. Jack Conklin was limited. Greg Newsome was limited. Wyatt Teller was limited, as well as
That's
Denzel
big. Those
was
two being back at practice is huge. Now,
absolutely.
Stefanski did say today that technically Denzel's not out of the protocol, but him practicing is a huge step to him getting out of the protocol.
And he's had a lot of weeks to kind of recover from that. Sorry. So, I tell you what, we need him. We need Denzel for this game. Gotta have Denzel. I don't know. I mean, right now is, you know how that concussion protocol is right now, especially after what happened with Tua. They're being very cautious with all the players, which yeah, rightfully so. I'm not going to give them hell over that because you know, these players have a life outside of football. Football doesn't last forever, so
hell no.
But God, we need him to play. So I'm like, and for everyone at home, cross your fingers, cross your toes, your arms, your legs, whatever you got to do. Pray to whatever deity you believe in that Denzel Ward suits up, because damn, we need him. Miami's receiving core is
disgusting.
Pretty damn good. And Tua, I believe I saw this correctly, he's completing 70% of his passes.
Right.
Nobody thought that was going to be possible for him, but he's been lights out this year for the most part. Obviously, there's been a few games where he's kind of but for the most part, he's been.
McDaniels is everything they thought he was going to be.
Yes, he is. He's a very good offensive-minded coach, and I like his style. Not. I should say maybe his demeanor more than anything.
I like his demeanor too.
Yeah, I like that, but. So I would like to get into a couple keys to the game if you don't mind. I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna see what you got, and that way I don't take what you were gonna say.
Sure. I'll start with offense.
Okay.
The big thing is just you need to not let anything over your head. That's the key. Now, not that we were going to harp on anything big from last week, but with John Johnson, he was the green dot last week. Or sorry, 2 weeks ago. And the defense played totally different than what it did the weeks prior. So I don't know if it was John Johnson. I don't know if it was the guys just being on their P's and Q's. I don't know what it was. But just like what Deion Jones said in his presser today, you have to be on your P's and Q's. You can't let anything over your head.
Yep.
You know, I don't see us bringing back Jabril Peppers from back all the way out in Parma, but you know, if that's a possibility, and we need to throw a buoy out to Key West to bring him back up from the Keys, I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't really care as long as nothing's getting overhead.
Yep.
Because these Waddle and Hill are just absolutely gross. Those guys, if you let them, they're going to take a 15-yard pattern to the house. They're that fast.
Exactly. And that's actually what I was gonna say. So glad you went first, but I mean, you're exactly right, man. I mean, any one of these plays, like a 5-yard slant could go all the way against this team. So you've got to keep the receivers in front of you.
The bad part is that even if you try the old Bill Belichick rule of completely eliminating Hill, Waddle is just as good.
Exactly.
Waddle has been gross this year. He's been so good this year.
Yep.
And he's proven that when you take Tyreek Hill away, he will step up and show up where he needs to.
Yep. Yeah, you know, you're right. And that's going to be the tricky part. Martin Everson, dude, you're going to have to like time step up, man. He's done a great job this year so far, especially for a third round pick.
I don't know that they'll put him on either one. Because I don't know, because in college, like the one game that people talk about is him against Jameson Williams, and Jameson Williams kind of tore him up there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, being the fast, shifty guys, I don't know that they allow him to cover them. Obviously, they're going to put help with him if they do, but that could be a dangerous matchup if they do.
You think it's going to be more Greedy or Greg Newsome?
Oh, you're definitely. I mean, if you have Denzel, it's gonna be Denzel and Greg Newsome, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know how fast AJ Green is, but you may choose to go more the AJ Green route and let Martin Emerson come in and more of the running downs because Martin Emerson's a really good run stuffer as far as a corner goes.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Very short tackler.
Yep. So, all right, that's your key on defense for me. Let me think here, because that was the one I was gonna say. I gotta think of a different one. Confuse. We need to send whatever defensive packages we can, but we need to confuse Tua. Make him think. Make him think about it. Don't let him just go right down to his first read, second read, third read run or whatever. Confuse the hell out of him. Make him literally sit there and read that defense all day. Don't give him the easy throws.
Right.
And I don't know if you can disguise a clever blitz package to confuse him. Just anything. Right. Anything. When he thinks, it doesn't always work out for the Dolphins. Yeah. So make the guy think, and let's see what happens. I think I
actually have two more on top of what I was going to say.
Please.
Another big one is make sure that, and I've obviously said it twice now, but your P's and Q's, you got to be on them. You cannot let any big plays happen. You let a big play happen, it's going to completely swing the door wide open, and they're going to start running off with the game.
Yep.
And kind of along the same line as far as confusing them, but we need to see another Miles performance out of Miles. We need to see him do the same thing to their left tackle as he did to Jonah Williams. Yep. If not, we need to see Jadeveon Clowney do it. We have to see somebody get that type of pressure. We have to. Yep. And I don't know if they bring Taki, which I need to shout that man out because he looked absolutely lights out last week.
You were absolutely correct when you say
he was
that.
On fire last week. I don't know if it good.
I was going to say good for Taki. Mm-hmm. We've been kind of waiting for a game like that from him. Yep. So it's nice to actually kind of see him come full circle finally. So good for him.
I've always been a pretty big fan of Taki, and he looked great. Absolutely great last week. And so we need another performance like that. Now, at the same time, Gesicki is still a weapon. Mm-hmm. Gesicki, if they try to shut down both receivers, I don't know how it's possible, but if they do, Gesicki is still a very big red zone threat. So if we get in the red zone, we got to make sure we're watching him.
Yep.
So those are the other two ones I would say for that. I will let you go first for offense, and then I'll go.
All right. Offense for me, I just want to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it simple. And what I mean by keep it simple is one word. One word. Chunt. 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 Chunt.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
So I'm going to give two because it's going to feed off of what you had.
Okay.
But then I also have another one.
Okay.
So mine was going to be ball control. We need to control the ball. Control the clock. The time possession is going to be a huge factor in this game. Yeah, it's good to have the quick 25, 30, 40-yard bombs, to get those touchdowns, but we need to control the clock. We need to run the ball, like you said, Chunt, and we need to make them be on their heels at all times. Second piece, I want to see Jacoby be Jacoby. We have said it time and time again, and it's a fact. He is the heart he plays with fuels this team, hands down. And if he can come out and play with the same fire and passion that he's been playing with, it's gonna be huge. He could take this team to the next level, this game. Now, he also came out and said earlier today that it's not really a revenge game. They didn't do him wrong in any factor, so it's not like there's any added fuel there for him. But I will say that I am very excited to see him play this game because their defense isn't great. It's good, not great. So that's kind of my
me.
I guess keys.
Yeah.
But I want to see Jacoby, be precise, be confident, be accurate. I mean, last game, both back shoulder throws, the one to Amari Cooper down the sideline and the one to DPJ, both of them, just incredible balls.
Yep.
the one ball that he threw to Cooper that almost got the touchdown when Cooper like rolled over. Incredible ball.
Yep.
It was only where Cooper could have got it. And 2 plays I need to shout out from the offense. Both same action. The hurdles. The DPJ hurdle
Yeah.
and the Chubb hurdle.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
those are. What
Yep.
do you do?
Exactly.
You're
What
not
do you
expecting
do?
them to go up and over, but they did.
That's right.
So
That's right. That's right. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's some keys to win this game. This is an absolutely winnable game here.
oh yeah,
We can win this game. We should win this game. If we
We're the
play,
underdogs, but we should.
I mean, yeah. If we play the game the way the Browns play football,
that's the key.
then we can win this game. But we would just like against the Bengals, got to have this defense show up in a major way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this offense can outscore their offense just going toe to toe. I don't know
what you want to do.
exactly, but that's what I'm saying. If we get in that position, I'm just not sure it's going to be possible. So
Right.
in order to win this game, you've got to somehow limit that offense to the best of your ability. Limit it.
Yep.
So there we go.
We'll see what happens. But
Yep.
let's go ahead and let's get into these picks.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. So as it stands, we left off. You are up 52-49. As I did the previous weeks, I have already made my picks.
Okay.
So I will let you go first, and then I'll give you mine. So the game tomorrow could be a good one. I don't know. It depends on which Carolina team shows up. You have the rematch of the infamous DJ Moore helmet toss that lost in the game. The Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina.
I'm going to do the Falcons.
I did the Falcons as well. I think it could be a closer game than what people think. Depends on which PJ Walker shows up.
Is PJ Walker
last week? Is he
starting? Okay. Wow. I'm kind of surprised at that, to be honest with you.
I am too. And that just tells you how little faith they have in Baker. Because PJ Walker last week looked atrocious.
Yeah,
I watched the first 3 drives and he looked awful.
Yep.
God, he looked awful.
Yeah, he did not look good.
But moving on. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am going Tampa only because Brady is 1-0 since his divorce.
I mean, I guess I'm going to go Tampa as well, but I can't be shocked if Seattle wins this game.
Sure. This one, I struggled for a little bit, only because I have to assume at some point Russell Wilson's going to show up. He's just kind of been on the outskirts. He's been riding the horse around the stadium. Broncos country, let's ride. I think he meant around the stadium. But now I think it's time for him to ride into the stadium and actually play the football game. But problem being is that it's Denver's traveling to Tennessee. Tennessee coming off that close loss to Kansas City. Derrick Henry's playing out of his mind. I went with Tennessee.
I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. I was kind of hoping that you would go with Denver there, but
I was talking him up there for a little bit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Although I will say I need Jerry Jeudy to have a big game because my team's in shambles in fantasy. But I just don't. It's hard to trust Russell Wilson right now.
No, exactly. It's hard to trust that entire team.
Yeah.
So
next we have, this is going to be, I think, the blowout of the week. But then again, they've surprised us before. Jacksonville traveling to Kansas City.
I'm not picking Jacksonville.
I mean, hey, no one thought they'd beat the Chargers, but they did beat the Chargers.
I mean, yeah.
But the big key is it's at home. It's at Kansas City. I just don't see them losing. Next is going to be a key of if you're going to go with your boy. It is the Detroit Lions going up against the red-hot Chicago Bears.
Give me Chicago.
Oh, you wimp. You didn't want to take your boy. I was hoping we'd have at least one difference here.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. We'll get a difference.
Yeah, I don't know that we will. Look at the rest
Okay.
of these games.
Okay.
Next is going to be the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I
Yeah,
went New Orleans.
yeah, so much.
Okay. Next is another one. I think this is pretty simple. It is the Houston Texans traveling to the New York Giants.
Oh, Houston's taking that. I'm just kidding.
Uh,
I am just
I,
kidding. I
I
am
don't know if you saw
just.
my face just now, but I was
I
like,
did. I
okay.
saw it. I saw it.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That Giants are winning that game through and through. I just wanted to see
All
what
right.
you would do.
Yeah, no, I almost typed it in for you. Um, next we have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Buffalo Bills.
That's a good game, but I want them. I'm gonna take Minnesota.
Pax, pick something different
Oh,
than
really?
me.
I don't even know what you're picking.
I know. I chose Minnesota because I didn't know what Josh Allen's going to do. This game, we'll see if it's different. This is going to be a good, interesting one in a bad way, but it's still going to be interesting. You have the Jeff Saturday coached Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. And I don't know if you saw this, but Jeff Saturday tweeted out like 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
the Raiders are terrible. And I was like, ooh, that could be spicy. I actually went with Vegas on this.
Okay, I'm taking Vegas as well because this is why. I would feel more inclined to take Indy if they made like their defensive coordinator the interim head coach, or if they made like their special teams coordinator interim head coach. But no, they took a guy who is a quote unquote consultant who is also working for ESPN to be the interim head coach of a team that he's really not been around. Let's call a spade here. Like I like really we don't know, but come on. How much has Jeff Saturday been around this team?
I'm changing my mind. I'm going Indy.
Wow.
Only because no one knows what this offensive coordinator is going to look like. No one has any idea what his offense is going to look like. Everyone knows how bad the Vegas defense is. It could be interesting, and they get Jonathan Taylor back. It could be interesting. We'll see how this goes. I gotta make some difference.
Hey, you know what? At least this time, Jeff Saturday will be able to call whatever offensive plays he wants instead of yelling at Peyton Manning about what they need to call. You know what I'm referring to?
No.
Okay. Back there's an absolute gem of a video out there. It was back when obviously Peyton was playing with the Colts with Jeff Saturday. And something happened, and Jeff Saturday got so pissed at Peyton. He said something like, "We got to run the damn ball." And Peyton just comes over and starts yelling at him. And these two are yelling at each other. And Peyton was like, "Just snap the ball. I'll call the fucking plays." And Jeff was like, we need to run the ball. And Peyton was like, "All right, Jeff, you just snap the ball. I'll call the fucking plays." And that was it.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
hilarious.
Damn, it was kind of funny. So now Jeff Saturday can call the fucking plays.
That's right. let me call the fucking plays. All right. So moving on. This is a pretty big one, I think, in the NFC West. You have the Arizona Call of Duty led Kyler Murray, need more study time Cardinals going to the absolutely in shambles LA Rams. I went Arizona.
I'm taking LA.
Okay.
I'm taking LA. I think this is a game that they can win. It's a division game, and Kyler Murray has not won a game since Call of Duty has dropped. So
yeah, that's very true. Listen, I'm well aware of his inadequacies. Thankfully, he's still playing good fantasy football, so I can't really complain too much there.
Nah.
But we'll see how this game goes. Next, we have probably another route, but we have the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Green Bay Packers. I don't know who the Packers are. I don't know what, when, where, and how the Packers are. All I know is they got beat by the Lions last week, and they look awful.
So this
is Dallas.
So this is me. I don't know what the Packers are, but I know what they aren't. They are not a winning football team right now. So give me Dallas.
Absolutely. This, I think, is probably the game of the week. I don't really know there's another candidate. And this is one where maybe we'll get something different. So I'm going to let you go first because I already have my pick in.
Okay.
The LA Chargers traveling to San Francisco.
That's a good game. That's a good game. Because San Francisco looks like they are
very good with McCaffrey.
Exactly. And I really like Justin Herbert. But I'm going San Fran.
Dang it. That's where I went.
Listen, I'm following my gut. I am following my gut.
All right. This one I really don't need to talk about. It is Washington traveling to Philly. I think if you picked Washington, you're an absolute fool.
Yeah, it's going to be Philly. It's going to stay undefeated. How about that Philly team? I did not see them being undefeated this long.
I didn't see undefeated, but I don't know if you remember. I told you they were my sleeper.
Yes,
them and the Chargers were my two sleepers.
You did say that. I remember that.
Chargers have not produced the way I needed him to, but obviously without Joey Bosa and J.C. Jackson, it makes the defense look totally different.
Yep.
But the Eagles have looked phenomenal. AJ Brown is just a monster. He's everything you thought he could be.
How bad do you think Tennessee's kicking themselves?
Oh, I mean, and then you get Treylon Burks for him, and he's been on the IR. And I don't know if you saw this, but they have not thrown to a wide receiver in like 2 weeks.
You're shitting me.
I think it's what I saw.
Wow.
I believe I saw they didn't have a single wide receiver with a catch on their roster last week against the Chiefs.
Kind of reminds me of the Chiefs a few years ago when Alex Smith was their quarterback and Dwayne Bowe was a receiver for them. The entire year, a receiver did not catch a touchdown pass.
Yep, here you go. So they had, they had 2 for Hooper, 1 for Haskins, who's the running back, 1 for Dontrell Hilliard, 1 for whoever the heck this guy is, Okonwo. He had a reception. Nobody else. Malik Willis completed 5 passes. Not a single wide receiver.
Wait, Malik Willis?
Yeah.
Tannehill not playing?
No, he was hurt last week. And he was sick.
Okay, did he start? Did Malik Willis start that game?
Willis started the whole game.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, okay.
And then last week, Woods had 2 receptions against the Texans. That's it. 2 receptions in 2 weeks from wide receivers. Versus A.J. Brown, who had, over 100 yards receiving last week? Probably, I'm assuming, against the Texans.
Yeah.
He had 459.
Okay, there you go.
Very good game.
There you go.
I mean, what they would give to get him back.
Yep. I think we still got one more game.
I mean, we're both picking the Browns, right?
As always.
Yeah, I'm so tempted to pick Miami. Only because I think this game is going to go one of 2 ways. Either we win a close one or they blow us out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they win a close game. And I think everything is going to rely on the defense and not letting up any big plays.
Yep.
I think if they can somehow pull that off, I think we're in a much better position. If they don't, we're in trouble.
Yep, I agree with you. Well, guys, that's going to do it this week for Load the Box Browns. We will see you next week. Hopefully, we are going to be celebrating a win. And we'll be looking forward to Buffalo coming in with yet another win. But never know. But that's what we're hoping for. But with all that being said, I'm Chris Paxitas. That's Eric Mienko. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. It's been a fabulous show, and we'll see you next time. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Hoo, hoo.